Step Greater Collective. You know, every video I make, it might as well be a death sentence. While I look at the most amazing person I've ever seen, it's up on my screen over there. By coincidence, but within's apart, right? Seems to be the curse of our ancestors upon the ancestors themselves. Like, for instance, how in my life I was the firstborn, and she asked for somebody who would love her unconditionally. And then I was chose every single other possibility and person, and even the voice against the voice of the one who she asked for. Where there's nothing I could say that she wouldn't automatically, her own serpent within would say, no. And I could prove it, bring her the proof, and she would have nothing to say. And then excuse every other possible person. And I could never be excused, while handing her all of the gems that she could ever have, while I'm the gem. Wait, my mother's the gem. 151. Ain't that a bitch? Like my stepfather, having no children of his own due to an accident on a motorcycle, supposedly. How coincidental. Would have 3 kids. Sorry, Sophie is up in our business. You know, everyone's supposed to tell everything apart, hide it. If it's not real, if it's not actual, and it's revealed in nature, in the names, in the bodies, in the life that you live, then what the fuck are we talking about? Really? Because if everyone can't be real with everyone else all the time, then what kind of world do we have? Oh, we have the world we have. I mean, the world that's out there. And we have the world we have together. You know, my stepfather, when I met him, I don't know one way or another. I can't judge. But so the situation was, he came up to visit for the motorcycle rally at Sturgis. At the same time as my mom was living in the Artemis house, the home for battered women, when I was the most abused in the entire family, and having been cast out of the Artemis house to either sleep on the streets or in the most hoarder like, but not hoarder, like trash bin of a house I've ever lived in my entire life, where I did clean like 3 feet of pop bottles and corn, whatever trash, to just have a spot to sleep. And I would get in trouble for cleaning the house. God dang, she's trying to kill me. Stop. Stop. Well, my mother and my brother and sister lived in a home where whenever I would visit during the day, everybody would be like, holy shit, why isn't Josh here? He's like the man out of everybody who lives in the home for battered women. He's like the best son. He's the best brother. He's the best husband. And he doesn't even get to live here. And he's 17, and they gave him a blanket for his birthday so he could sleep outside. And luckily, he had somewhere to stay in a trash bin as the loser. Okay, that's the story. But my stepdad met my mom while he was still married. And he went and visited her and moved in with her. Well, they're both between places perfectly and imperfectly like I am at this very moment because I am married to myself and to all of you. It doesn't matter whether I've had anything to drink, anything to smoke, whether I'm high as a fucking kite. I've always said that because otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you. I would be outside of the screen with me, 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 the one that everyone else is with, me, 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 me. And I would be double folding that and be like, oh, look, it's me. Look, it's me. Me, me, me. Right? 555. But I'm just real. I'm just it. And so then the first time I ever took the Greyhound bus, I rode with him to go to his court. Well, no, we drove down there. The first time I got to ride with my stepdad. And he went to meet his ex-wife and went into court, and they took his car, his Jeep, his house, which was the governor's mansion, every single possible thing that he had that he could own. And then somebody, his sister and his family had to come pick us up. And we came back to Alva. And then we had to take a Greyhound all the way back to Spearfish, South Dakota. And that was my first time I spent with my stepdad. And that's not against him, 651. I know the whole fucking spirit journey from every single person's perspective. All the way, wheels and wheels, Ezekiel, what the fuck? That motherfucker's a bitch. He's just a connotation, an example before the reality of the truth. Only for him to constantly be kicked out of our house. And then my mom to be like, you can stay here no matter what. As long as you don't have anywhere to go and I don't have anywhere to go, I always have somewhere to go. Because I've always had somewhere to go since the day I was born. But I blame my mom. But when she died, my son Josh was the only one that stood up at her funeral. When I die, he'll be the only one to write me a poem and stand up at my funeral, 751. Even though my son, my daughter, my husband, and whatever, all were the ones I cared about the most. Josh will be the one that actually puts time and effort and wants to know that mother was buried successfully, even though that's the bitch that locked me out during COVID. And has always worked against me every day of my life and always teamed up with the bullies. If they were in the house and they could provide anything more than this little fucking pissant named Josh, fuck him. I'll just use him for whatever I want because he's the first, so nobody knows anything more than me. I can own him over and under me. I'm God. Oh, what's God? Oh, well, I have my mom's crucifix next to my bed. I have the ancestors at the doorway. Oh, but Josh, he's nobody. But everyone else. Oh, and he better drop God. He better drop the family. He better drop everything. But everything that he picks up, I will always support in everyone else, but not him. Even though he could probably transform this entire family if we gave him every single thing we have in 1 month, and we would have like so much life to give, and the family would be on a straight and narrow. Like he could transform the entire family. Jackie and her husband and her kids. Oh, but no, he's not allowed to be in charge of nothing. And he doesn't want to either. He needs his own fucking life. He doesn't need to be babysitting his relatives. But then, of course, he ends up in the basement as the loser. While his ex-boss, and knows he's the best person for the job, hires like the prettiest possible person that doesn't fit the job over him. and has his brother on hold. And then his sister is trying to balance children that her own husband didn't raise. But that's on him, but he sucks up to his own son. And the father and son aren't there. But they got a lot of crosses on the wall. And that's not an attack. Because fucking I know how it is. I got all them crosses on my wall. Look, I ain't even got no kids. I ain't got no wife. Not disadvantaged, so I could take advantage of her. Not like super hot, so then I could be like, oh look, I got all that. You know, nobody gets as hot a wife as me. Oh, but I got the whole collective. Oh, but what's a collective? Oh well, somebody's just stealing all the ego. Somebody has to be in charge of it all, so we can blame him, so we can get ahead, just like my mother did, and she's always been taken care of since the day she was born. You know, it's such a sick ass joke. I'm just gonna leave it there. Love, loving.